So hello everyone, welcome back. So I'm going to start doing the second part of that cowboy carving video. I'm still going to use the same block and where we left off. So what I'm going to do right away is kind of wanted to give you a backstory and show you something cool. So I'm going to tilt the camera down and show you some things. Okay, first thing I wanted to show you is the guy who taught me how to do these bolo ties. This is his cowboy. And as you can see, there's cowboy on all the sides. So, and this is how he does his end pieces. So, pretty neat idea. I don't know if you can read that okay. Let me turn it to where you can read it. But his name, if your camera focuses, his name is Bill Butch. And he used to live in Orem, Utah. And if you look at that, he done 39,992 is this one. What happened is, I do a lot with the Boy Scouts, and I do a lot with scouting, and I met this guy, Bill Butch. So if you're familiar with Boy Scouts and the scouting aspect, you would know who Bill Butch is. If not, then you don't. But he would go to national jamborees and everything and carve these bolo ties, different ones, for the scouts and everything. So that's his. I'm going to show you, scoot it back a little bit, but that's what his looks like. Now there was another guy that learned from Bill Butch, and his gate, and you probably know who he is, but this is one of Guy Nelson's bolo ties, and this is his cowboy, Guy Nelson cowboy. He does a little different in, and I don't know if you can read that one okay, but that's Guy Nelson. And if you look up here at the top, he has 3,058 numbered on this one. So that's a Guy Nelson bolo tie. Kind of different aspect on it, you know, his ears. And if you guys know who Guy Nelson is, this cowboy is one of mine. My name's Caleb Homer. I own a company called Homer's Customs. I don't know if you can see that. I do finish carpentry and detail and cabinet making. But this is my ends. My ends are a little bit shorter than the other two. But this is kind of a little cool thing. I wanted to show you different cowboys. People have different aspects of cowboys, different thoughts and things on the cowboy. So, you gotta excuse me, I was fighting a cold. And so I still can't get over a cough. But I wanted to show you the different cowboys. And then these are different heads that I make. These are just 12 of them. I actually do many different heads, more than 12. I have a lot more that's not on here. And I just wanted to kind of show you guys this little cool thing of different carvings before we got started on part 2 of the cowboy. And kind of show you kind of what I do. Now, here is the hat that we left off with. This is the one that we was carving on. Now I know right here is going to be kind of thin, and right here, the side and that, but I'm just going to continue with the block here that we already have. Excuse me, and I show you. I apologize, the last one went for an hour. I'm hoping this one doesn't go for an hour, but to get everything in it I wanted to, I'm going to have to, you know, make a long video. So what I'm going to do is, so side of it, I'm going to come down about half of it. You know, like I said, I don't usually mark mine, but half on each side. Carry the half around the front because that will be your nose and your you know, your nose and your cheek and that, and your eyebrows and everything. So what we want to do now is we want to carve that line, and then I'm going to shave on the front of this. I'm going to kind of shave this corner off on both corners. Now I'll show you that when we get to that point. Apologize, sorry, hold on. forgot I have some Pepsi. Wash that in. Anyways, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start coloring this. Now, what I basically want to do is I want to make a straight cut down, across, and then I'm going to come in at an angle and kind of do like a half wedge thing. So let me get to that point and I'll show you. So like I said, as always, stop cuts. And then I come in at an angle and I'm doing my wedge. So you can kind of see how that kind of has a wedge shape to it. You just do that through the whole line. Man. Yeah. And here I'm coughing, and no, it's not Corona, so don't be worried about that. But like I said, I got caught in here in Wyoming. We had a interesting thing last week. It was 90 degrees on Monday, and Tuesday it snowed for a day, and then Wednesday it was back at 70 degrees again. So with the change in the weather like that, it jumped and melted everything, but yet put a lot of people's immune system in shock because we're not quite ready for the cold yet up here. So see how I'm making that a wedge? I'm gonna wedge that out. I want to make it a little bit deeper than that, and yeah, so I'll show you. I'd be kind of interested to see, I know everyone has their own style, but I would be kind of interested to see some pictures of people trying this style out and see how it looks, you know, if they try it and they like it. And I'd be interested to see how some of the other people's hats and stuff turned out. So back to that, the reason why I say you guys probably know who Guy Nelson is if you're anyone in the wood carving business, and that you know who he is, and if you've been around the scouting program, you know who Bill Butch is. There's another guy who took over for Bill. Poor guy. After he passed away, he had another apprentice named Gary Dollar. I don't have one of Gary's bolo ties to show you, but he's kind of took over, and I'd like to get one of Gary's bolo ties, if I can get one, to kind of show people the progression of that one. Okay, so I'm doing a stop cut here on this line. I'm going to dig it out like I did here, and excuse me, and carve this away. Now I'm going to keep an eye on the clock, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably stop this video midway, and then we'll do a part 3. So it's not so long. It took me 3 days to upload this last one to YouTube because it was an hour long, and I think that's was the reasoning. You know, I don't do a lot with video editing, so you know, please excuse me. I'm new to the whole video editing and video making thing, and that channel on YouTube I have is for projects I do, because like I said, I'm a cabinet maker, finished carpenter, and I do a lot of trim and cabinetry and custom furniture, and you know, those other videos on that channel you guys are welcome to look at projects I've done. But if you're just interested in these carving videos, I will be adding more to it. I'm thinking I'm going to do all these different heads, and I'll post them all the time as a series. And when I mean series, I mean I'm going to carve the whole thing, and I want to show you how I paint it, how I set them up as a bolo tie, and how I make my ends. I'm not a big fan of basswood, really. This block here is a basswood block, and we know that from the last video. But I like aspen, and I got some aspen here, and you'll see some wild like aspen in a minute. But okay, right now, so now you can see the shape. So these parts right here are going to be the ears of the cowboy, and then down here we're going to shape the head. Now I'm going to cut these corners off, and it kind of give you a chin shape. So what I'm going to do is just take a knife. You have to have a sharp knife. Just guide across the bottom there. This is probably a bigger block than what you need. I'm like, this is a 2" by 2" by 2" block, and I don't use this block. I think there's still a lot of wood to take off, but see, so now you got the shape of the chin. Now what I like to do, I also come to the back of the cowboy and I shave it down. Shave the back so it's not so thick. I don't know, see how it's shaving back? You know, shaving off the back side there. And we'll work on that more in more videos, but right now, that's what basic shape is, okay? So now, what we want to do is we want to shape our ears and the side of the head. So, come back here, and on my ear, I may go at an angle like this on both sides. Now this is going to be kind of a thick space here, but I don't want his ears to be massively thick. So like I said, a lot of this right here will be carved out, and you'll see in a minute. Same side, you know. A lot of people's like, oh, you gotta keep it even, symmetrical. It's a character. I'm just carving for fun. You know, I'm a carving. You know, it's not gotta be perfect. It's one of those just fun things to do. Not perfect by no means. But what we'll do is we'll cut this line, stop, cut it again, and then we'll carve all this away and shape the head, and then I'll go from there. So, like I said, you know, take your knife, and it's a stop cut. So you gotta carve it down. And what I do is I put my knife in, and I say, so see how my knife is kind of at an angle? Okay, so I put it down and I put it at an angle like that. So right there, see, it's at an angle. So that was my stop cut. And then I take right here, this is going to be in front of his head. So I take and I carve up to the top of the hat. See how I carved up to the top of the hat? I just went up there. And all this is going to be carved away. So let me get to that point. So see how I'm carving it away and shaping the head? You know, that's going to be the shape of the head. That shape right there. So now you gotta be careful. Like I said, sharp knife, but still, just take it easy. You don't need to hog out big chunks all at once. You can kind of chip away at it. It's not going to be a big deal. You know, I've seen people take big chunks out with 2 cuts. Me, you do what's comfortable. I've never been comfortable to do big old cuts like that. Feel that I would lose control or do something with the knife or something, but it does happen, you know. Your knife's going to get bent and chipped and dinged up anyways. And so if you know how to do all the okay, so see how I carved that one out? So now you can kind of see his ear and the side of his, whoops, sorry. You kind of see his ear and the shape of his hat, his head going to be with this. I don't know if you can see that. Can't see. right there. See, you're getting the shape of his head right there. Okay, and his ear. And we'll carve out that more. So I kind of like it to look really thin in here. And so, okay, so that's one side. Okay, so got one side there, carved out, shape of his head right there. See, shape of his face, and his ear is back here. So now it's onto this side. Same thing. Stop, cut, carve it up there. Same thing. You put your knife in at an angle. You make that stop cut, and then you just carve up to the top of the hat, little by little. You know, don't get in a rush, because if you do, you'd probably take off the brim of the hat, and then you'd be end up gluing it back on. See? See? It's just little by little. You don't want to be gluing the hat back on. You know, when it comes to painting, it probably won't paint well, and then it's going to have a weird spot, but you just ease into it. Ease into it, yeah. See, now I'm just easing into it, getting the shape. Okay. Okay, so now excuse me. So now you can see the shape of the hat. Okay, the face. Sorry, not face. Both ears. Ear. See that? Yeah, it looks pretty back there, but we will deal with that in a minute, because a lot of this will be taken out and shaped for the nose, so it won't be so deep once we get to it. Okay. So, there we are. So we got this cowboy looking like this. We shaved the chin, shaved the cheeks, back of the head, and then what we'll do is we will start working on the nose. Now, you want the nose, some people like it, right where the bottom of the ear is, which is right here. Well, mine will be bottom of the ear, but it won't be, because I like to put some eyebrows up under here. So what I do is I'm going to do a cut here and shape the bottom of the nose, and then we'll go from there. Okay, you draw a line across here. Yeah, I don't know if you can see my cut. I drew it with my knife, but we cut up to it. Same thing, you go down, and then you come back up at a little angle to get your depth. So in my last video, they said, I had a lot of people said I was a good teacher. Well, I taught wood carving to scouts. So I kind of, so you can see how I'm creating a little pocket right there. Right here, see, creating a little pocket, kind of get the shape of the nose. And then I want the nose to stick out as far as the brim, but I don't want the mouth to be that far out. So once we get to that point, we'll shape it in. So I'm going to keep cutting that stop line back, but I'm only going to go in a little bit. So I'm going to keep the see how I'm keeping it kind of tight right there. So I'm following the line of the nose, but I'm kind of keeping it tight. So, and I'll show you, you know why in a minute. So. Okay. So let's see. Let's work on that. So we'll get that pretty deep. And probably go deeper anyways. Okay, so now we have a pretty good thought of the nose and how it's going to lay out, and the ears, and then the hat. Of course, we did the hat in the last video. So what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and I'll stop this video here, and we'll pick up on the next video. It's been 20 minutes. I'm trying to keep these short so they're easier to upload and quicker to upload. So I'm going to stop this one, and I will get back to you.